The Black Book of Influence. Part 6. Emotional Contagion. Mass Hypnosis. On the evening of November 9, 1938, thousands of ordinary German citizens walked into the streets and, in a single coordinated frenzy, smashed the windows of Jewish shops, burned synagogues and beat their neighbors with iron bars. It became known as Kristallnacht, the night of broken glass. How do ordinary people, loving fathers, kind mothers, quiet shopkeepers become a violent mob in the space of a few hours? The answer is not ideology. It's emotional contagion. Emotions are more infectious than any virus. And the person who understands this can turn a crowd of strangers into a single, breathing organism. Today we're going to explore the 3 steps to creating a mass movement. Step 1. Emotional synchronization. Step 2. Rhythmic repetition. Step 3. Identity fusion. First, emotional synchronization. Have you ever walked into a room and instantly felt the tension? Or joined a party and been swept up in the joy? That's the clumsy system of your brain signing with the brains around you. It happens through mirror neurons, specialized cells that fire both when you perform an action and when you observe someone else performing it. When you see someone smile, your brain fires as if you were smiling. This is why one passionate person can ignite a crowd. In 1963, Martin Luther King Jr. stood before 250 people at the Lincoln Memorial. He didn't just deliver a speech. He became a conductor of emotion. He started slow and steady, his voice deep, his tempo measured, and then he climbed, building rhythm, raising his pitch, and the crowd climbed with him. By the time he reached "I Have a Dream," the collective heartbeat of 250,000 people was beating as one. That was not politics. That was neurobiology. The second step is rhythmic repetition. Every great movement has a rhythm. Think of a protest march. What do we want? Justice. When do we want it? Now, the call and response pattern synchronizes not only voices but also heart rates. Think of the Nazi rallies in Nuremberg, the stomping of boots, the chanting, the torches held in perfect lines. Hitler understood that if he could get 100,000 people to move their bodies in unison, he could bypass their critical thinking entirely. Rhythm creates trance. And trance is the state in which the individual disappears and the crowd takes over. You can see the same principle at a rock concert. Thousands of strangers, arms raised, singing the same lyrics, swaying in the same wave. For those 2 hours, they are not individuals. They are a tribe. The artist on stage is not just a singer, they are a shaman. The third step is identity fusion. This is where the movement becomes personal. It's when you stop saying "I support this cause" and start saying "I am this cause." The leader achieves this by creating shared symbols, shared enemies, and shared rituals. In the 1978 Jonestown tragedy, Jim Jones created identity fusion by isolating his followers, creating a unique language and staging mock suicide drills that made them rehearse loyalty. When he finally gave the order to drink the poison, they obeyed not because they wanted to die, but because their individual identity had fused with the group. To abandon the group was to abandon themselves. Now identity fusion doesn't have to end in tragedy. The same principle built Apple's loyal Fanbase, where people camp outside stores for a phone. It built the devotion of a sports team's fans, who paint their faces in freezing weather. It builds communities that last lifetimes. The mechanism is the same, the outcome depends on the leader's ethics. These 3 steps, synchronization, rhythm, fusion, are neither good nor evil. They are a formula. A politician can use them to inspire a nation to rebuild after war. A corporate CEO can use them to align a scattered team toward a single mission. A social media influencer can use them to create a movement that raises millions for a cause. The question is not whether the technique works. The question is who is wielding it, and for what purpose. Now I want to give you an exercise. For the next 24 hours, I want you to become a student of emotional contagion. Observe crowds on the street, in a restaurant, in a viral video. Watch how one person's laughter spreads across a table. Watch how fear jumps from face to face when unexpected news breaks. Watch how a speaker on stage uses pauses to let the silence build tension, and then releases it with a single word. Deconstruct the rhythm of the leader. You will start to see that influence is not a mystery. It's a design. And once you see the design, you can either become the designer, or remain part of someone else's design forever. In the next video, we're going to explore the framing effect. How the exact same fact, presented in two different ways, can make people choose the complete opposite. You will learn to control the narrative, to set the context, and to make your desired outcome feel like the only logical choice. That's part 7, and it's one of the most practical tools you will ever learn. I'll see you there.